All right, y'all. One more batch of soap to go. It is mighty warm down here. I'm surprised I've not sweated all my hair out. So this one is going to be a new batch, a new fragrance that I've never done before, ever, period, with my own line. But actually, it's got the same story as the previous soap, funnily enough. Same brewery that I was working with. They had like a tropical, pineapple-y themed beer, and they infuse it in the beer, though the taste isn't as strong in my opinion, but I'm not a beer drinker. Like, I will drink it, but that's not my thing. So they wanted a tropical pineapple-ish smell fragrance to go with the soap, and so I found this one. It is a tropical pineapple, delicious smelling. Every time I smell it, I want a pina colada. Like, it's delicious smelling. Okay, so I've already tested it in a body wash that eventually might hit the site if I could ever get my act together. It's amazing, and I also think I want to include it in some of my moisturizers, body butter, the hand cream, maybe even hair products. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make this last batch, the pineapple-y batch, and I'm gonna take me a break. Alright, so let's get this started. You see me adding my sugar to my aloe vera juice, and then sodium lactate, which is basically liquid salt. Both of these add to the fluidity of the soap, but they also help to make a more bubbly, harder, long-lasting bar. Here I'm measuring out my lye. And then once I get that all measured out, I add that to my aloe vera juice, never the other way around. So once I get that all included in there, I give it a good stir, not too aggressive, okay? Don't want lye splashing everywhere. I like to stir it until it becomes a little less milky looking or cloudy looking. It's not water, so it's not going to go all the way clear. And so around 200 degrees, no less than 180, I like to go ahead and combine the two together. I'm working on talking slower so I don't trip all over my mouth. Watch it still happen. Okay. Anywho, I like to go ahead and stick blend to trace. It's usually just a more viscous consistency. Think something like pudding-ish, if you will, and you can just kind of see how it's thickening as I stick blend. It doesn't look so loose and fluid. And you can also see as I swirl it around and pull the stick blender out that it has that thicker consistency. Okay, so I'll let it sit there in silence and peace for a while, and it started to volcano. A while could literally be 5 seconds and you will have a volcano. I'm not exaggerating, though I am prone to exaggeration, not this time. So you see it did volcano up. It's coming up over the lip of the pot. It's a lip, right? Whatever. So once I get it stirred down, I just go ahead and just kind of clean the top off because I don't want that mess all over everywhere. I let it sit again, and I was trying to get some stuff done, and then it decided it was going volcano again. And so since I got that down, I can go ahead and finish stirring in the yellow that I didn't get to initially show you because life was lifing. Okay, and the soap was soaping. All right, and then I'm gonna add in this brown, which is utterly gorgeous as well. The yellow, I believe, is Bright Yellow Raincoat, and the brown is Sexy Stranger on a Train, both by Mad Micas. So that was just me pouring out that delectable and wonderful fragrance, measuring that out. And so here, I've just got sick of waiting. That's what happens usually in every soap making adventure. I get real sick and tired of waiting. So here's looking really applesaucy, and it will be followed by looking mashed potatoy. And though both of those phases let you know that you are in fact moving in the right direction with your soap making. You want both of those phases, and then finally you want it to look Vaseline-y, and you just notice that because it starts to look fairly shiny as you stir. It starts to feel quite loose and a little bit on the translucent side. So that was just me adding measuring out my full fat Greek yogurt. It doesn't have to be full fat or Greek, but you want plain. Make sure it's plain. And the Greek or the yogurt in general just also helps to keep the soap fluid. This is, after all, fluid hot process, also known as countertop hot process. And the general point of this is to be able to cook it in a hot process but not end up with that sticky paste stuff that was the original hot process. It's still fluid enough as me adding the fragrance so that you can do pretty designs and all that. The reason I like to do this process is, one, of course, it's done and ready to go faster, and two, I can control at what temperature I add my fragrance, and I feel like it makes it last longer in the soap. Alright, so here I'm just going to separate out my soap by weight so that I can distribute my colors. Okay, and so here in the larger bucket pail I am going to add my yellow. I'm going to stir, not overly aggressively, but give a little elbow grease. I want to make sure that the soap is fully colored and I don't have little bits of uncolored soap. It's not cute. It's not cute. And then going in with the brown color and stirring that in just as aggressively, if you will, just to make sure that's fully incorporated. That looks so rich and beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna just dump these molds onto the table and get to pouring. Now I only have two colors and they're contrasting colors, so I guess I'll still go over the spiel that I like to pour my colors next to each other in a contrasting way because I just feel like it gives a more noticeable, vibrant, whatever. I think it just looks better. Okay, that's where it is. So you just see me kind of slamming, if you will, the molds onto the table, and that's just to help avoid like air pockets and stuff like that. And so here I'm going in with my actual hanger instead of a hanger tool like smart soapers do. And I just go in and slide it all the way down to the bottom and just do this figure 8 kind of thing. Do a couple times on each side, not too much, because I find that it just looks a little muddled and chaotic and unpretty in my opinion if I do it too many times. And on with the fairy dust, because each batch of aloe vera soap, did I say soup? Must get fairy dust. Anywho, so yeah, just finishing that off. And I decided that I liked adding it before I swirl the tops because it kind of incorporates it in the top a little better, and the soap just isn't the glitter. Can I talk today? We were doing so well. All right, the glitter just doesn't fly away off the top of the soap, so I'm just swirling up the tops. It's just an aesthetic thing. You don't really got to do that if you don't want, but I just like it. It looks better, and that's all. So that's the top, super pretty. Put them in the freezer for about 5 to 6 hours, and here I am demolding the soap. They are still frozen, that's why they kind of got that pastel look to them, but I prefer, I either demold them while they're completely frozen or wait until they're all the way thawed. So that's just me pulling them out and sitting to the side so they can fully thaw. I do not cut completely frozen soap anymore because I used to do that, or I did that a couple times and broke my cutter. Very upset. I'm still upset. I'm talking about it years later. Okay, so on to the cut. Now I make sure that the loaf is pressed all the way to the side of the cutter before I cut, and then in between each cut I wipe the wire down with a paper towel or a napkin because I don't want like residue from the previous cut to go all the way through the next bars of soap. And so then I kind of pull them apart and then gingerly pick the soap up and move it over to its little spot. I still have to kind of handle them with care because they're a bit soft. So these were like just kind of some of my favorites. And I just love how different they all look. Even though they are all in the same batch of soap, they all look so completely different. So yeah, now I've took my little shards and I just want to test out, really show off the lather, if you will. Because this is less than 24 hours later, and handmade soap gets better as it sits there and cures. But this lather is already delectable, bubbly, wonderful, lotion-like delicious wonderfulness, and it smells incredible. I'm just saying, this is one of my favorite fragrances. I've literally added it to everything. So that's pretty much all I have got for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed and liked what you saw. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. So that's all for now, and I will see you next time.